Hello, hi, my name is Sin Symbol, and I am back here to talk about a few things today. So some of the stuff I wanted to talk about today was, uh, I guess my relationship to AI. I watched a video not too long ago, and if I can find it, I'll put it here. I'm trying to do a little bit of editing, so we're going to see how that goes. But it was talking about how there's no if you're if you're using AI, you're offloading that to the AI, so you're not getting that experience and actually having to use that tool. So for me, particularly, I literally just was on pictures 2 seconds ago, and what it was talking about was like basically you're using Pinterest to find inspiration for things, but as an artist, shouldn't you want to just like find inspiration that is like a bit more meaningful instead of like scrolling on the internet trying to find inspiration? Shouldn't you just want to like go out into the world to do that? So it's kind of messed up my relationship with art and other things as well. And also just like, what's the point of making music if nobody's gonna listen to it? Like, oh, shouldn't I just be making music for myself? But also like, I know as a DJ, like having people dance together is such a core tribal thing. And like also people hate on me for like wanting to party. But that's like a core thing to like the human experience. Like people get together and dance around lights. Like, okay, that's a thing. Um it just makes me I feel like I guess what I'm also been feeling is like a bit powerless. Like wow, like I don't if I feel like if I say something, it's not even gonna be heard. But if I don't say something, then I'm not expressing anything at all. It also should I be expressing things? I feel like I've been getting into these like mind traps around things, and it's not been very good. And I've been trying to find a way to be like, okay, well, how do I? I don't want to say be productive, but how do I take back my autonomy over a situation and I feel like life should be fun, and I'm not having fun right now. So I took this weekend to just kind of relax by myself. Some things that I really enjoy, like there is some uh, fruit juice like right behind me, and I really want to go grab it. And I might. I bought some pizza. I bought like a lot of pizza because I don't ever let myself have pizza. So I have that. I might go on a walk later today. Um, it's kind of hot. It's 80 degrees, and I don't know if I feel like doing that. But I've been trying to be more active, and I don't exactly want to get on a treadmill, but I'm trying to take back my autonomy over things. I feel like, wow, I'm listening to all this music on Spotify, and what am I getting out of it? I do hear a lot of great music, and it's great, but it almost feels disposable in a way. Like, oh, like I'm eating all these Tic Tacs, and it's no nutrition. And that's what I've been feeling like Pinterest is, scrolling on YouTube is, just scrolling behavior in general. I'm searching for something nutritious, and occasionally I do find something nutritious, right? That's why we keep using the platforms. But sometimes it's just like it's filler content. Girl, it's a top 10 video by Watch Mojo. Okay? We've had enough. We've had enough. Um so I've been feeling like that a lot lately. Like a lot like this whole whenever I watch that video, like it was probably like Tuesday when I watched that, and I've been in a funk ever since. Um, and I don't really know what to do about that. I've been really like mulling over it, especially. I just watched something a show that actually was nutritious, which was Ghost in the Shell standalone complex. What a amazing show! An amazing show. And it's so interesting because it really like echoes like what's going on with Luigi Mangione and like the whole the economic crisis that like AI just is just started to kind of be a thing, and all these things that go on the show, they're talking about AI and the Tachikomas, which are like AI if you haven't seen it. Uh, and there's also a conspiracy in the show about um, there's this syndrome that people get with their cyber brain, and I think it's like cyber brain scoliosis or sclerosis or something like that. Um, and it's like non-curable. And there was a cure for it, but it got shot down because people wanted to make money, which is literally what Luigi Mangioni's situation is. Kind of, it's like people not being able to have functioning healthcare. Like, despite the fact that people, okay, why can't they just have it? Like, why can't you approve the claim? Why, like, I don't want to talk too much about that, but I also feel like that's something I've been avoiding as well. Is like talking about like politics and all the stuff that's going on in America. And I feel like I bring it up to people, and I just feel like people are like kind of sweeping it under the bus. Like there's a lot of very serious things going on, like a lot of very, 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 very serious things going on, and it's very scary to live in this country during this time. And I think I don't even know. Okay, he got in office in like January, so we're past the 90 days. But like it's May. It's 5 months in, and it's like what is happening? It's so much crazy stuff. It's really wild. Gosh, no, there's just a lot of cuckoo stuff, and then I also feel like guilty for like being a successful person in during this time. I don't really consider myself successful, but that's also part of the issue is that I do bring home a salary that allows me to live in a place uh, alone. I'm able to buy the food I need on a consistent basis. I haven't been hungry. If I've been hungry, it's been my fault. It hasn't been because there wasn't money in my account. I can buy acne medication, although this is like $10 acne medication, not a big deal. But like, I want to say excessive acne medication, but I don't need this acne medication to do what I do. I just want a result faster, so I can buy the cheese on the burger. And that doesn't mean I'm necessarily driving a Tesla, but it just means I'm in a good financial spot. And that is not something that most people have nowadays. And it's getting worse. And I can only imagine what the tariffs are really going to do to the economy. I feel like we went through this with like COVID, and like people were saying a lot of things, and then like it happened. I feel like in certain sectors of the country it got worse, but then for me, I don't know. I'm a bit of a workaholic, so I probably would be always kind of immune to something like that. Like the economy, I don't want to say immune, that sounds crazy, but like I would compensate probably a lot for it by working more or finding a new job, or I mean, this in some degree. I would like to make money off YouTube at one point. Oh yeah, and then also there's this other thing that I found out about. I'm not found out about, but like I feel like I don't ever want to get to the point where if I do start to gain a mass following, I'm grateful for every single view, but this person was talking about how they had like 500,000 followers on TikTok or something like that, and they only got like 200 views. And they were talking about how they gained all this, they do all this work for these videos, and then like, oh, nothing. I got nothing out of this. Only 200 views, that's nothing. And it's like, I'm on the opposite side of that. I'm grateful for every view. And there actually is a video that is kind of doing well. It is the How I Find Music on the Internet video. That video, I might do a part 2 of that, because I've recently found more ways to find music that is like more accessible and more digestible. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like this is turned into a strange video, a strange channel. I talk about music a lot here, but I also just talk about my experiences a lot here, and it's been very therapeutic. Yeah, I'm big on self-growth, and I feel like it's like kind of the thing with businesses. If you want the ultimate test, the ultimate self-growth thing, the self-help thing you could do is start a business. And I feel like, not that this is so much of a business, but I don't have to do this. And I've grown a lot from just seeing like, oh, I really am consistent. It's great I knew that before, but like, I'm like a very consistent person. Like I really do like, oh, I said I was going to do something and I did it. And not everyone's like that. And that leads me to another point. Is that I'm so grateful for my friends, but sometimes I meet up with people and they just, it makes me so mad. It makes me so mad. Because I'm a really heartfelt and caring person. I really try to put myself into a relationship, a friendship, whatever it is. And I recently had some experiences where these people are like prejudging me, or they think they have some kind of idea about me, or they just don't text back, or they just don't follow up. I hate that shit. I wish I had the discernment to really know between, okay, this is a good person for you, and this is not a good person for you. And I don't have that skill, and I've been working on that. I've been working on that a lot because the friends I have now, I wouldn't have guessed in a million years that I would be as close as friends as them as I am. Even like the previous, there was a, I don't want to say their name. There was a previous closest friend I had, like prior to COVID. We had a falling out. Well, it was really me just like deciding, oh, okay, I need to cut this person off. But even them, like I wouldn't have picked like, oh, like I met you randomly at a party. I would have never thought that we would hang out all. I was at their house on Christmas when which I guess, yeah, I was at their house on Christmas and their family had like went to like fucking Florida without them, which was crazy. So they were at their house by themselves, like, which is wild. And we were like watching, I think we watched like Mean Girls or something like that. I can't remember. But it's just like really wild. I wouldn't have picked that person in a million years. And I randomly was like hanging the first day I met them, I hung out with them like 3 a.m. in the morning or like 1 a.m. in the morning. Or maybe it was 5 a.m. I can't remember. It was something wild. Like, huh? Like, and I didn't know this person. Okay. Like, I wouldn't have picked these things. I wouldn't have picked. So life is really wild, really magical. Yeah. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Let's find out. I haven't been journaling as much of recently, but I think that's been a good thing. I've been trying to take it a little bit easier on myself. I feel like I've been stressing myself out a lot lately. I definitely would say I'm going through a bit of an identity crisis, to say the least. I am discovering, I guess we can talk a little bit about music. I also see that FL Studio is really cool. Like you can, if you didn't know, you can use the FL Studio DAW as a plugin or a VST in another DAW, and you can also do that within FL Studio. So it can literally like play itself. And I've been thinking a lot about that. I've been thinking a lot about synthesis in general. A lot about Sophie as well. I want to make another video. I want to make a video about Sophie and just all these other producers and artists that I'm so inspired by and why I think they're inspiring. And Sophie, I guess I'll do like a mini clip because I do really, really want to make that video. Sophie's idea of production and the approach to music was that what synthesizers should not try to replicate actual instruments. So synthesizers shouldn't try to replicate a trumpet or a cello or a tuba. They should try to do something entirely different because they're capable of doing something entirely different. And you can build that foundation from the bottom up if you really take the time to really know about that and have the imagination for it. And what Sophie primarily used was the Mono Machine, which is a FM synthesizer, which is, if you don't know what that means, is frequency modulation synthesizer. So what that does is you take one sine wave and modulate that. So you control one sine wave with another sine wave, and that creates an output, and you can like stack them and do all these different types of arrangements that an actual instrument wouldn't really be able to kind of do. So like you can simulate the sound of like the rubber snapping or latex or metal clanging together, like, and you can do a lot more with that stuff and morph and twist it and mold it more like clay than you would be able to do with an actual, because you can bang or you can physically model metal together and it'll make a sound, but you're kind of, if you physically do that, you're kind of stuck with that same timbre. Shifting and changing timbre through synthesis is like a hallmark of Sophie's production. And if you listen to, I would say listen to probably Hard, you'll really get like the emphasis of what I'm trying to talk about. So I've been thinking about like, because Sophie unfortunately passed away, what would Sophie do in modern day times that she wouldn't have been able to do when she was alive? So a lot of his AI synthesis stuff, resynthesis, a lot of Serum 2, all of these things that she wouldn't have necessarily been able to do. I've been playing around with this tool called Micromusic, which you can take a sample and then run it through Micromusic, and it will create a synth patch for a Vital or Serum 2. and you can further manipulate the sample when it's in there. But the hardest thing about recreating a sample through synthesis is like finding the exact spectral data, or just sometimes just like figuring out like how it's constructed. And now you can just do that very easily. And that kind of loops back around to like the AI thing. Like, why do I want to use this tool called Micromusic instead of actually just straight up learning how to recreate a sample myself? Because that's what Sophie would have did. She wouldn't have probably, I mean, I'm sure a little bit of it she would have used, but more than likely not, she would have actually taken the time to understand how to reconstruct her sample herself instead of trying to use a tool to do it, outside of a base synthesizer. So there's that. I've been really thinking about that. And just like, but I also really think about like sampling in general, and like what's going to make me stand out as a producer. Why do I want to stand out as a producer? Why do I want to have people watch these videos? Why do I feel like I am going through a little bit of a depression, because like, why do I want to have a savings account? I actually have one, which I'm extremely grateful for. Why do I want to do anything? Like, as you can tell, I'm definitely having an identity crisis. Why do I want to do anything? What is the point of anything? Why have that initiative? And I think it's coming from like feeling like I have a lack of power, despite the fact that I have power in my awareness. I have power in just like knowing that I'm myself. I don't even know if I want to get too into that, because also in Buddhist, like, there's non-self. I feel like I need to cut the video. Clip, clap, clap. Bye.